Alright, here we go with the tier list. I'm gonna pull the microphone closer to me so y'all can hear me a little bit better. There we go. Let's get it popping. Let's start with ABC. It's not viable. You're just not gonna be having a good time with it at this point. Also, Lancia is being run in pretty much everyone's deck as a hand trap right now for Malice. Lancia actually kills the deck. You can't do any plays with like the YuGiOh head because of Lancia. So the deck was already in a bad spot. It's in even worse spot now. Emancipator. This deck is bad. I've been playing against it on the ladder because since Malice hit, I just hadn't been very active. So I actually started out this season in Platinum, so I got to see a lot of the lower tier decks. So I have a little bit more perspective on this list, and this deck's bad. Like it is really easy to beat. Um, ABC is an engine or it's splashable. You won't see it as its own thing. Uh, Gears, I'm going to put as non-viable. Normally, I'd be like, oh yeah, Gears can come out of nowhere and get you, but there's too many disrupts during the main phase with Malice, and there's too many disrupts with other decks that this isn't really going to do much. Azamina, engine slash splashable. Centurion, it's just not really able to keep up. Crystron, we're actually going to put a non-viable. And the reason we're putting Crystron in non-viable with potential to move up to playable is because Lancia also kills this deck, and it's pretty much fallen off in ranked since you've seen it. Memento, I'm gonna move up to 2. I just saw that and I'm just like, ooh, this deck is actually good. Uh, and has a lot of potential, and I think that it's currently not being played as much as it could be just because there are better options. But I do feel like this deck is very decent in the current meta. Blackwing, let's put you there. Let's move Crystron up to 3 with potential move down. Because like this deck is not horrible, it's just everyone's running Lancia, and that's what really hurts it. Primite, you're still going to see a lot of Primite slop. You'll still see it on Blue Eyes. It's being played a lot. The engine is still out there. Speaking of Blue Eyes, I'm going to put it as King of Tier 2 right now, and the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to put Malice in 1, and nothing really touches Malice right now. So I don't feel comfortable putting them on the same tier. I feel like the power gap between them is too big. I'm putting Blue Eyes this high because I'd been easily laddering with it, just easily laddering with it. Now that I know the Malice matchup and I have the proper hand traps and other stuff for it, I'm having a good time. Weirdly enough, Ryzel actually is kind of hard for me to out with Blue Eyes if they know I'm playing Blue Eyes and they just have the detonator and I don't have an answer to the detonator. I just have a bad time. But Blue Eyes is very decent in this meta. Probably also helps I haven't seen a ton of Ryzel yet. As I move through Diamond and up to Master, I'm probably going to see a little bit more of it. Um, Branded is still good. It just has a lot of options. I feel like it's not super crazy, but I still feel like the deck is good, and I feel like it deserves to be in tier 2. Potential to move down to tier 3, but still very good. Why do I even have this in here at this point? Why do I even have like Burning Abyss, Phantom Knight, slop decks in here at this point? You know what? You're a meme. You're a meme at this point, at least for my tier list. You are in the meme tier, sir. Byseal. I'm actually gonna put it higher than Primite on the Splashable Engine list just because uh, most Blue Eyes decks that are playing Primite also playing at least Magma Hut. And every Malice deck is playing Bysteals pretty much. Like everyone. Like you're gonna see Bysteals in a lot of your games. Chainburn, forever a meme. King of the meme tier. Chimera. Potential to move down. Tier 3 for now. It's this and it, Chief. If you played against Memento, they're gonna outfloat you. Most of your options are destruction effects. If you play against Branded, Branded just has better things. If you play against Blue Eyes is gonna laugh at you and just take your board apart. At least that's what I've done every single time against Chimera decks. playing Blue Eyes. It just doesn't have the juice right now. Cyber Angels is an engine. You're pretty much never going to see them. But they're an engine for Drytron. They're an engine for a couple other light ritual decks. But like I said, you're not really going to see them very much. Cyber Dragon is like way down here in the non-viable tier on 4. Non-viable is basically like you just can't play this in ranked and expect to win. There are a few people that sure they can make the magic happen. They might be able to get master with that, but that's going to be like one person, like a single person, and they're probably going to have to grind way harder than anyone else to accomplish that. Um, if you see Cyverse, it's pretty much Malice at this point. Regular generic Cyber slop, you're really not going to see. Pretty much anybody that's playing Cyverse playing Malice. So I'm not even going to put that on the rank at this point. Cyverse is more like I won't say an engine, but you'll see Cyverse splashed in Malice. Danger is an engine. You'll see it more than Cyber Angels at least, but less than Adventure. Danger Dark World, Danger Turbo, Danger whatever. Dark Magician is really bad at this point. I'd rather play Cyber Dragon. Dark World, pretty much right. Right, yeah, right there. Dedede, I'll put it higher than Chimera. You're gonna have a hard time against Ryzel with keeping some of your back row, but the back row is not really as important. It's gonna be like basically the just say no board that you can generate with this that you're really gonna care about. The same logic as Cyverse for Adagnister. Like you'll see Adagnister maybe when we get the new cards splashed in with Malice, but right now it's like you're just not going to see it because anyone who's playing any sort of Cyverse engine is playing it with Malice, so you're just not going to see it. Dinos, I'm gonna put them in non-viable, and that's mainly just because I haven't seen this deck in like 4 formats. Same with Dynamorphia. I rather run regular dinos than Dynamorphia at this point, though. That's for sure. Dragon Link. Man, I'd just rather run DDD than Dragon Link at this point. Drytron Herald Slop. Right there. Kashtira. This one's hard. I'm gonna put it in 3. I'm gonna put it behind Chimera. I feel like Kashtira is just gonna have a hard time competing right now. I don't really have like a reason for it. It's more so just vibes. So like, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. The new king of the meme tier, Skull Servant. There you go, buddy. Millennium Exodia decks right now, you're just gonna get bodied. It's just not, it's not happening. More so, if anything, the Millennium stuff's like an engine for other decks, but they hit Sengen or Senjin or whatever, Wicks from a Millennium. And so this is, or they hit the other one. They might not have sent, they hit one of them, but this is like, I'm gonna put it here. Blue really did nothing. Like no one actually played Flu. I feel like Flu has potential in this format, and maybe I'm crazy. I feel like Flu could actually be playable with potential to move down. I'd rather even play Flu personally than Kashtira at this point. If you gave me one and said you have to play one, I might play Flu this format. Engine. These guys are still doing their thing. I'm gonna put them right there. Murmur's still playable, can still do the discard stuff. I'd actually put it over Chimera at this point. Fainsmith, probably the most splashable engine in the game right now that you will see the most with it's everywhere. Fiendsmith something, it's everywhere. Uh, I'm putting Fire King in tier 3. I'm putting Fire King in tier 3 because the deck still highly hasn't lost anything. It is underrepresented, but the deck is still just as good as it was. And if you remember, kind of during like Malice format and other formats in the TCG, we actually had a couple Fire King tops and it was considered rogue, but it's the same logic. This deck has not lost anything, pretty much. The deck still has almost everything it needs. It can still do its thing. It's still very good. The disrupts aren't going to hurt it that bad for Malice. I definitely think it would be a struggle in the matchup, but I feel like Fire King is still very much a viable and decent deck in the current format. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe this list is the one I look back at and I'm just like, what was wrong with me? But there it is. Gladiator Beast. They're not viable. I actually saw a couple people playing them. I saw somebody running a really spicy like rescue cat, rescue rabbit list with them, and it was pretty interesting. And just really abusing the link monsters. That was cool, but it's still not very good. Um, I've seen Striker with like everything splashed in it. I've seen the deck just kind of like doing its thing. I feel like it's okay. I feel like I'll put it like right here. Um, Tempai is still Tempai. Tempai is going to struggle with the Malice board, but everything else it's kind of okay with. I'll put it right here. Horus is an engine right there. Prank Kids aren't happening anymore. This is an engine that you'll see probably just as much as this one. Labyrinth feels really just kind of slow and edged out by things in the meta. I mean, at this point, I honestly rather run Flu because, like, at the very least, I can do my Flu things and then go into the big penguin and just look at all my opponent's attack position monsters and just be like, yeah, no. Of course, Malice is best deck. Evil Hero is essentially a 2-card engine for Chimera and other decks at this point that run Fiendsmith with a Dust of Gold and the one that goes with it. And if you're feeling really cheeky, you can even run the one Dark Fusion. You'll see these three about equally right now in the meta, but they do exist and they are engines, so they're there. Pendulums, the Supreme King deck is actually like been trending a lot of Master Duel meta, but I still don't think that this is the thing. I just don't feel it's consistent enough or good enough to really be there. So I'm gonna put it in non-viable. Same with Resignator. Resignator, like you could see Resignator stealing games off people. I just feel like it's not enough right now in this format. Uh, Galaxy Eyes with 7 Tachyon and friends, still not happening. Still a meme. Um, Live Twin, I feel like is more tier 4 territory at this point, even Live Twin Sprite. I would rather play Live Twin Sprite than Labyrinth at this point. In fact, I'd rather just play Sprite than Labyrinth at this point. Tier is still tier, and it's still tier elementing. Definitely feel like it's more consistent than Time but not as good. But also probably had to have a better Malice matchup. I'm gonna put tier in 3, and it's the king of tier 3 for now. Unchained's an engine. You're really not going to see it very much anymore because YuGiOh's kind of dead. But about right there. Denyi Sword Soul is barely playable. Like I even had trouble with it even like in platinum. We're gonna move Flu down, and we're gonna put Tenyi here. I feel like that's better. Voiceless is just a no-go in this format. Uh, Kashtira above it would mess with it. Sky Striker can play around it in some cases. I feel like it probably, out of any of the decks above it, would probably have a best Chimera matchup. The Fire King matchup's not going to do anything to it. Mermal, I'm not sure of that. But this just doesn't really feel like it has the juice in the current meta, and for that reason, I'm putting it down next to Resignator. Minkonko, as you're trying to get started, you can disrupt this deck with Malice. Malice is going to eat it up. This deck, I also feel like I have an easy time with Blue Eyes. If they're going second, if I have enough disrupts, I'll be fine. I just feel like this is actually not it, Chief, right now in the current meta. I'm actually going to put it in 4. Inzectors, that's definitely non-viable and goes in the non-viable tier. Exo Sister right now, even with some of their setups, put her ahead of Glad Beast, but behind Scent. I'm also going to move this down, like, right there, and I'm going to move Herald down right here. Marincis and friends, even if you set up and you get like the negate, some decks can actually play through like 4 negates at this point. Oh, that's weird to say. But I feel like it's probably, if you set it up and you just build the negate board, it's right there, maybe. Mimaghoul's just not happening. Orchist is more of a splashable thing at this point. You won't see it very often, but I think you'll see it more than Danger. Runic, also an engine, also seen more than Danger, but probably less than Orchist, actually, which is really funny. Materia Reactor, no one's playing this. Punk, it's an engine that you'll see probably around in here. Numeron, no one's playing this right now, and it's also just so easy to stop the field spell from touching down at this point that it's not viable. Darklaw really doesn't hurt Malice like at all. Like if you're playing heroes and you're playing against Malice, you're just gonna have a bad time. Also, the fact that Lancia is a thing right now, and well, Lancia won't really help you during your turn though. But I don't know. I just don't feel like heroes are it right now. I'm gonna move your hero down uh, next to Flu, and I feel like playing against Cash. I feel like you could answer Cash pretty easily with Striker. Like you could literally just Widow Anchor it. Uh, it's really hard to answer Cash with Chimera. Fire King, if you're going second against it and they have the thing that is basically macro on wheels, it'll be hard to answer Cash. Mermal's kind of same thing, graveyard shut off. Yeah, I can see pure cash being a problem still. I'm going to leave it unplayable. I was thinking about moving it down, but I was like, what does it do to the decks above it? And the answer is enough. I won't really do too much against Tenpai, but if they went first, they could disrupt you. If they were going first, you probably should off tier, but you wouldn't really hurt Branded very much. You'd hurt Memento, but you wouldn't really hurt Blue Eyes or Malice. Yeah, I feel like Cash should be in tier 3 still. Anti-meta's in a rough place right now. Good luck with that. These guys are more of a splashable engine now. They're meh. These are like the Ryugi guys, right? Even as it's hard because the guys really haven't done anything. So for now, I'm gonna put them in non-viable because they theoretically could be an engine, but the difference is like all the stuff that I put in an engine, you will either at least see, even if it's not very good, or you will see people running like two of the cards in, like in danger or something with the evil heroes. Um, with that, I think I'm actually going to move Invoked into non-viable because once again, you never see them, and at this point, it's just way too slow. So if we're going to open the door to prune the engine tier, the splashable/engine tier, like this is only going to be in Cyber Angels are only going to be in Drytron, so I might as well go in there with next to it a non-viable. Um, kind of same with Danger. It's like pretty much the only deck I'd really see it in is Dark World, so it's going to go in there as well, into the non-viable tier. The rest of you can stay. Kaijus are totally great and should be being run. I don't see people running like any of them as options to just out the really annoying things on your opponent's board. I do see some people still playing Lava Golem, but it's less than I used to. I still feel like Kaijus could see play though if people decided I've just had enough of this and they basically just want to slam the get rid of boss monster button. Um, Although I feel like more people are running Nibiru. I feel like I should probably put Nibiru as the image instead of the kaijus. This is kind of like the Lava Golem Nibiru kaiju representation. You basically just summon monster, get rid of opponent's monster. I mean, if I'm counting for Nib, I'm gonna see it like up here because pretty much everyone's running Nib at this point. This is the kaijus are basically representing the do something to get rid of a boss monster button. Uh Rika, it's not happening right now. Ritual Beast. And I'm putting Sprite and Swordsel down there. Ritual Beast should be down there as well. Does that mean I want to move Fire King down? I mean, you're not really seeing it, but it is more... I feel like it's more viable than these decks. Do I actually want to remove Sprite up? I actually have played against a few Sprite decks, and they've been pretty good. No, what I think I'll do is this. Yeah, I think I'll move... Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna do that. Okay. We're just gonna move Cash up, and we're gonna move Fire King, Chimera, and Striker down. Actually, no, I'm gonna move Striker above Fire King still because I actually like I was playing Striker this format. It'd be but I could always play Striker 10 pay because the 10 pay package is so small. So it's like you have all the stuff to go through your deck with Striker and make your opponent waste cards on, and then you can just fit the 10 pay package in there and just go in for the kill. Uh, that deck's also fun because it's just silly. Um, I almost never see anybody playing White Forest at this point. I'll occasionally see Azamina, but like, I feel like if that's the case, I'm actually gonna move. No, I feel like I got it right actually. 6 Samurai. I mean, you could play going second 6 Samurai and hope you don't get Firewall Dragoned by Malice who's playing against it, but you could play going first 6 Samurai and just make the OTK, FTK. I feel like it is disruptible. I am gonna put it not just by Malice, but by a lot of things. I feel I'm gonna put it right there. I'm actually gonna put it below Ritual Beast. I rather run it over Hero at this point. I could see you getting Master with 6 Sam, but it'd be really, really hard and really grindy. Just like I could see you getting Master with Sword Soul or um, Sprite as well. Ubel, I don't feel like Ubel has the juice at this point. In fact, I actually rather run Hero or Flu or even Labyrinth over Ubella. This deck is pretty cooked. Okay, give me more Rinsis over it. even that pendulum deck over it at this point, forming. I'll put it next to Minkonko in 4. I feel like YuGiOh does not have the juice. Snake Eyes is just an engine and things at this point. You'll see Snake Eyes, Primite, good stuff. Snake Eyes, Primate, Azumina, good stuff decks. Valmonica's not happening. It's too easy to mess with at this point. Sharks are also not happening. Just also too easy to disrupt. Um, I feel like Rescue Ace can go there. It's okay-ish, but it's still not like meta. Thunder Dragon, man, going first Thunder Dragon against Malice would actually be funny to see how that interaction would work if they had Colossus on the board. But I just feel like it's too slow to compete right now in the current meta. Ryzel, I like Ryzel a lot. I haven't seen many results from it. It is really early in the format. Maybe I'm putting it too high, but I'm gonna put Ryzel like next to Memento and Branded, but still not as good as Malice and still not as good as Blue Eyes. Definitely is better than Blue Eyes in that matchup. I feel like every time I play against Ryzel with Blue Eyes, given it's only been a handful of times, it's been hard for me. But I'm gonna put it right there. I feel like this is the insane person tier list. Oh yeah, Volcanic. Yeah, no. Trap chicks. Yeah, no, not right now. Not this time. Yeah, there we go. But just had to do a second check. But anyway, if you guys like this list, let me know down below. If you think this list is just me cooking a little too hard and burning the kitchen to ashes, let me know down below. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.